Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Uneducation Station. What episode? No clue, but it doesn't matter because we're just going for it.
Yeah, and time is relative.
Time is relevant. Zach, age is a number.
Yes.
That's all it is. Age is a number.
Yes, but no.
As well as time.
Time is
time is age. So age is. Anyways, welcome back to Uneducation Station. I'm Arthur. I would hope you would understand that by now. Zach is with me as well.
Hi.
Shocker, I know. Crazy.
Right.
We're here to talk about things, believe it or not. This is the worst intro I've recorded ever. It has been a while, a couple of weeks. But, oh, yeah, my nose is a bit stuffy. I apologize. I'll try and move away from the mic if I have to get a big sniffy boy.
The big sniff.
Dude, I had a terrible night last night. I had a headache, and I could only breathe through one nostril. I can still only breathe. Yeah, I can still only breathe through one nostril. So life is sucky right now. And I just went to Olive Garden, and Olive Garden is Olive Garden. No offense, Olive Garden, but why is your food like mid? Like why? It's like the most.
I was like, okay.
It's like the most okay food I've ever eaten in my life. Like every time I go there, I'm like, yeah, that was food. There we go. I never finish it, Zach. You know, whenever I go to a restaurant, I always finish my food because I'm a hungry boy. I'm a growing kid still.
Yeah.
For the most part, I be eating my food. I be eating a lot of food, Zach. A lot of calories enter this body.
This a body. A lot of calories in here, and it burns out immediately because I have worms or something like that. And then I go to Olive Garden and I'm like, bro, I cannot eat the second chicken. Dude, okay. You said you were like, this is so mid, and I was expecting you to say something else, and then you just stopped, and there was just silence, and I was like,
because there's nothing to say about it, Zach. It's food. Have you ever went to an Olive Garden and been like, wow, that was an experience. That was quite the food. I feel like I'm in Italy right now.
I mean, okay, the same thing could be said about a lot of different restaurants.
Okay, but Olive Garden, I mean, it's on the TV. It's heavily pushed in advertisements. Listen, Olive Garden, if you want to sponsor us, those breadsticks are still fire.
Yeah.
I brought like 3 bags home because they're that fire. So, listen. But that being said, in this channel, if something is ass, I will say it's ass. And it's not ass. It's mid. And I'd never say mid. So if I say mid, then it's mid. I ate chicken with some cheese on it, I guess, and broccoli.
Did you get like a chicken parmesan thingy?
Chicken margarita, which was not a margarita, but it's what it's called. Because a chicken margarita as a drink sounds very repulsive.
Right.
But it was called a chicken. Wait, was it called a chicken margarita? It was margarita. Yeah, grilled chicken margarita. But it was just 2 chicken breasts with cheese and shit on it.
And shit
on it. Anyways, what I'm trying to get at is if you go to Olive Garden, it's really expensive, but those breadsticks are fire. Anyways, what was I saying?
We were trying to like start the show.
Oh, that's right.
Something.
We're doing a show.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
welcome to... Wait, I already did an intro. What am I trying to say? Anyways, I did have a topic that I wanted to talk about.
Hell yeah.
My headband is coming off. I'm doing a man bun Anuki today.
Man bun
But you don't
Nuki.
get to see it, although it's coming
Hippie
off. So
Nuki.
you go ahead and take your camera, and you go ahead and bring us in, Zach.
Okay, so I'm going to be honest with you. I only know like 2% of what we're talking about right now.
Okay, so basically you're a bad host.
So no, it's because you
don't listen
were
to me.
super vague
And you don't listen to me.
That's not true.
Zach, how have you not figured out what I wanted without me telling you, Zach?
Because I can't.
How in the world I haven't told you anything? How have you not been able to understand, Zach?
I don't know. That Arthur, you should bring the headphones
Zach,
back.
How are you not able to telepathically understand what I'm trying to get at without me telling you?
Well, you see, I can't fucking read minds. I mean,
why, Zach?
Because that's not something people can do, Arthur.
Well, that's what they expect me to do in customer service, Zach.
Yeah, but that's just a bunch of Karens who don't understand how the world works. Those are the people who will sit there for a year and a half and wonder why they can't wear a mask during a global pandemic. It's like, bro, that's not how... No.
Hey, man, look. It is going away, though.
It is going
It is
away.
going away. At least in here in the state of Washington. Has it already been lifted yet? Like, it has actually, like, what are they called? The CDC?
Yeah,
One of those people?
the CDC has said, at least from what I've heard from the grapevine, because I don't pay attention to news because at this point it's just bullshit. But from what I heard through the grapevine is they said that fully vaccinated people can go in without a mask, and they can't really ask you questions about whether or not you
Right.
are vaccinated or not. And so it's just kind of like, you know, the people who are either fully vaccinated or the people who just kind of don't really give a shit are the ones who aren't wearing masks.
Yeah. So this, depending on this episode is going to go up way in the future. So I don't want to go too into the topic. Well, actually, no. I was going to say because it's too controversial, but I love talking about controversial stuff because it's fun. But if we talk too much about it, that's too topical. Then it's going to be. First of all, we're not a news channel. Have I said that yet, Zach? Like at all in the show, in the history of the show?
Maybe once.
Maybe like once. Maybe.
I don't know.
We're not a news channel.
No.
Not a news channel.
Is there not a dummy battery in my camera? Why is it flashing red, saying that it's about to die?
You know what, Zach?
What?
You keep talking,
Okay.
and I'm gonna change the battery. All right. This is a good start to the show so far. That's great. Go
Okay.
keep talking.
All right. Okay. So one of the things that you were saying that you wanted to talk about was just kind of going off of a Minecraft podcast, the one and only episode that we did of that show.
Yes.
It was about the development of technology and all of that kind of stuff, and that really made me excited because there were a lot of things that we talked about during that episode that we didn't really have a chance to address a whole lot.
Yeah. So this episode aired about, So okay, yeah, that Minecraft. We at first we recorded like 3 episodes. I think 2 ended up going up. But basically on my channel we just played Minecraft on my stream and just talked. So it was basically like a podcast format like this, but we just played Minecraft.
Yeah.
Right? Something simple, mindless, not have to think about too much, just playing Minecraft and stuff. And one of the topics that we talked about was the evolution of technology. Right?
Yeah.
And frankly, okay, to be fair, so one thing we talked about was diminishing returns and how at some point in time, you know, advances in technology, they're going to keep advancing, but only so much.
Exactly, yeah.
And I feel like now that first of all, the main example I was trying to use, we use cameras, but one of the big examples we were using was the graphics card. So the NVIDIA graphics card specifically, but graphics cards in general.
Right.
As we know, during this time, graphics cards are pretty shitty, but that's besides the point. We talked about it before they even launched 30 series cards. And I said that what did I say? I'm paraphrasing, and I might not have said this exactly, but I believe what I said was that because of the law of diminishing returns, like graphics cards that we have today, or at the time that is, which would be the Turing cards, so 2000 series, are pretty good and are pretty ballin' and do a really good job. So, and the cards before that, which were Pascal, I forget what their naming schemes are. I apologize, but the 10 series, so the 1070, 1080, that stuff,
Right.
It wasn't that big of an improvement. Not really, at least, not anything marginable. And then the price didn't really reflect that either. They were still fucking expensive. So I was like, okay, well, if I had to take a guess based off of current trends or of that time, I feel like we were probably at a point of which this exponential curve of evolution in tech is starting to catch up with graphics cards. So I was making the prediction that 30 series cards were not going to be that much powerful.
And then you ate your words.
And then I ate my words.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Zach. And this is something that I'm still going to say it because these cards are worth as much. The prices on eBay, Zach, are a little bit over bloated.
Okay,
definitely. But yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. So that ends up kind of getting into scalping and the amount of supply versus demand, and the supply is so low for those cards and the demand is so high that people are buying them and then selling them for twice as much
Yes.
as what they bought it for.
Right, and that is what the scalping is, more than twice for some cases. But here's the thing, Zach. Obviously, personally, they are still overpriced on eBay, but a 3060 Ti. I'll get a live reading on. I hate dating the episode, but it is the beginning of July for this episode at least.
Right.
Let me go on eBay real quick, and search up a 3060 Ti right now, which should have about the gaming performance of a 3080 or of 2080
Right.
of last year, and these are selling for about $1,100.
Wow.
Right. But that, see, here's the thing. First of all, that's bullshit. Fuck y'all. Second of all, that isn't that much marginally more expensive than how much a 3080 would cost if they are, or a 2080, sorry, RTX 2080 non-Ti that is, would cost.
Right.
It's 2080 Ti pricing, but if you think about it in the greater scheme of things, a card that, and a 60 series card, or a 60 SKU card, so not even on the top stack, the lower stack,
Right.
is out or trading blows and sometimes outperforming one of the higher cards of the previous generation, the 2080.
Which is fucking wild.
Which is wild, right? But
Yeah.
it's priced so competitively at $399, I believe it was, MSRP. That is where the issue lies, because that's not how much that costs.
Right.
They're 100% undercutting that cost because they're trying to be competitive, and because of that, I think the original price should have been a lot higher. That's why everybody got caught off guard. Everyone's like, whoa, $399 for basically a 2080, or $599, I believe it was, or $499 for the 3070, I think it was, which is about the same, which is about the performance of a $999 to $1,200 or $1,000 card. So literally half the price for the same performance.
Yeah, the
roughly,
exact
right?
same.
Roughly the same performance. That's crazy. That shouldn't happen. That is not how that's not how the price of the materials worked out. That's not how that worked. And what happens is NVIDIA, first of all, I don't work in the industry. I don't have any ties to the industry. This is speculation. I'm tinfoil hatting. But what I'm basing this off of is just common knowledge of how I know how market in general works.
Right. And also this is coming from the perspective of a consumer.
Yes, of the consumer.
A person who is out trying to get these cards, trying to buy one, doing your own research, that type of stuff.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know the ins and outs of it, but what I do know is that all of us were shocked how cheap these were. These should not have been that cheap. I mean, it should not be as expensive as it is on eBay, but that's just because of what ended up happening, the supply and demand that you said.
Right.
Because they went away, or because that got killed, now they're this price. If they would have priced the 30s, let's say the 3070, it's $499 right now, and the 2070 launched, I think, for how much did the 2070 launch? 2070 MSRP. The 2070 launched for $499. Okay, cool. So that makes sense why it would be the same price bracket, right? Problem is, it's way more powerful than a 2070.
Right. And I think that wasn't really what people were expecting when they were just like doing their own types of speculation with that card.
Yeah, not
because like you look at the 10 series and the 20 series, obviously there was an improvement, but it wasn't as much of a marginal improvement as there was between the 20 series and the 30 series. No, not at all.
In fact, people were saying like, if you have a 10 series card, don't buy a 20 series card. It's not worth the money. Unless you're going from like, I don't know, like a 1060 to like a 2080 Ti or something like that.
Right.
Then sure. Although I would argue you should probably just get a used 1080 Ti, but that's besides the point. Yeah. That's whatever, because that's old news. Because right now, new news is that this $499 card is going for like $1,200 to $2,000 on eBay, which is absurd.
Right.
But what are you going to do? Because what happens is when you have a $500 card that performs almost identically, or sometimes better, sometimes worse, so basically identically, right? As a $1,000 card for double its price, it's going to get eaten up because everybody wants it. And then the problem happened where a little thing called COVID decided to waltz on in and said, hey, fuck these supply chains.
Right.
You know?
And it took an already stressful situation and it just bumped it up 10 times, 20 times, because not only was the supply not even remotely as sufficient as the demand for that card, even at launch, like even pre-COVID, even before like all of the shit hit the fan across the world. But also you take a global pandemic that is making it so that no one can be around anybody. Like manufacturing has become just an absolute shit show.
Yes.
And especially in places like China, where it was a place where it was hit the hardest with COVID, and also it's the one of the biggest manufacturing
where COVID originated, if you want to go that far, or around that area at least, in Asia, right?
Right. Yeah.
And you know, China, very dense.
Very dense.
Very, very dense. A lot of people packed into very small places. So, with that being said, if these places in China and Taiwan and where all these fabs and manufacturing areas are, they get hit the hardest, they shut down, boats can't leave and ship off, and airplanes can't fly, and cryptocurrency ends up spiking heavily.
Yeah.
So this is not just, this is all sorts of things hitting once. And I feel like, well, first of all, again, I've said it many billion times, I'm going to say it again. I don't partake in it at the moment. I don't plan to, but I might. I don't know. Who knows? But I also don't care for it. But I also understand its importance.
Right.
I understand that it could it very well is the currency of a future, currency option of the future. I'm not saying, I'm not tinfoil hatting like, oh, cryptocurrency is not, it has no place here. Listen, I already talked about how money is just monopoly numbers and zeros and ones in a bank account. I already, it's whatever,
Yeah.
If anything, it's more fun.
Yeah. And also another thing too is that there are so many things, there are so many nuances to cryptocurrency. There are so many things that a lot of people don't really know about it. And so, that's kind of something that you have to do a lot of research on and learn how to understand the way that it works and why it works the way that it does. And it's such a multifaceted thing that it takes a really, really long time to really understand what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, well, but because it's gotten so big, I mean, before in the past, I mean, I don't know, I'm not sure how much you know about it, but people were buying up 580s and 570s, 470s from the Radeon series.
Yeah.
Or not Radeon, sorry. Actually, it might have been, I don't know, I'm sorry. I can look over there. Radeon RX 570. All right, cool. So, yeah, so the Radeon series from back then, 470, 570-ish.
Right.
And then GTX 1060s. Those were getting all soaked up and eaten up to do mining. Right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't have I'm not going to go too into this topic. I'm just using this as an example of why the market is shit, right? But this happened before already. And some people still do it. But now that this cryptocurrency thing is booming and graphics cards, you're able to get, it's free money.
Exactly.
Who would not do it? If you can buy a graphics card for, let's say, $1,000 and make that $1,000 back and some, why would you not do that? And why would you not buy a shit ton of them?
Right.
So I understand where they're coming from. I'm not mad at miners because they've always existed. I'm not mad at what they're doing. I'm not mad at, it's whatever, it's money.
Right.
You can make free money. Who doesn't want to, do you like free money, Zach?
Of course I do.
You like free things?
Of course I do.
What if the free thing is money? Right?
Exactly, yeah.
So why would you not do it? So that's what's happening with the miners. What I'm mad at is the scalpers.
Right.
That's what I'm mad at. But the problem is, here's another thing though. So why wouldn't you say like, oh, why aren't you mad about like that? Because this isn't the first time it's happened. Shoes.
Oh my gosh.
The shoe market.
Yeah.
Okay. I've talked with, because I one of these days I'm gonna have my cousin Brandon, who I built a computer for I built a PC for a console gamer. I think I made that video. It was a video on my channel, the Anuki channel. And
did I film that one?
yes, you filmed that one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I built that, and I'm gonna get him on the show at some point because we're gonna talk about this more because he knows a lot more. He knows a ton more about this stuff, and he is actually into it, the whole cryptocurrency, that type of thing. Not the mining part. But we can definitely draw him in, and I think that would be a very fun conversation in the future because I think us talking about cryptocurrency when none of us partake in it. Do you partake in it?
No, I don't.
None of us partake into it. None of us read into it. I feel like because a lot of people care about that a lot because to be fair, it is money. I feel like we do a disservice to it.
Right. Yeah, and this is coming from the perspective of somebody who isn't in the ecosystem,
but that ecosystem itself affects our ecosystems.
Right. Yeah.
So it is something that we should be aware of.
Right. Yeah. That there's so many ways that cryptocurrency affects the market for gamers, for anyone who's trying to invest in tech in any regard, whether it's personal or for any type of business of any kind, because you look at anyone trying to buy a computer right now, like you and I were talking to Jackson about buying a pre-build, and those things, like I was looking at it with him, and it was like $1,300 for like a Ryzen 7 and like I think it was like a GTX 1080
for how much?
For like 1,300.
That's not that bad.
Oh wait, no, hang on, wait.
That's not that bad. What the heck? What are you talking about?
Wait, let me think.
But I know what you mean. I understand what you mean. Yeah. Excuse me. So pre-builts have been one of the ways that, I mean, I talked about it in the last episode, right? Because I remember, because I was trying to get to my point of why I bought a computer for a 3080, and then we talked for an hour about not that.
Right. Which is usually how it goes.
Usually how that goes. And I pre-builts, I'm not gonna. We already talked about this.
Right.
I'm not gonna go over it again. But basically, I'm fine with it. Just do your research and compare different pre-built websites if you want to go. If this is the route you want to take, which unfortunately, as someone who is an enthusiast in the space and would prefer DIY, and I've always recommended DIY and has always encouraged DIY, I would say if you need a computer now, that's the route you need to go. Just do your research and ask me too. I'm on Twitter, by the way, at Anuki. So ask me if you have any questions, and then I'm always down to help.
And if you can't get a hold of him because he has a ton of followers on Twitter, you can get a hold of me.
No. I always help everyone, bro. I help as much as I can, unless it's about work that I don't respond.
Yeah, I make jokes about that, but like, you have always been a resource for me, at least when it comes to building PCs, computer hardware, all of that kind of stuff. That's always been something that I've been able to reach out to you about. Mm-hmm. And so it's been really cool being able to kind of pass the torch in a way, because I've taken a lot of the information that I've learned from you and a lot of the direction that you've given me for my own research to be able to help, like with Jackson, trying to figure out what kind of PC he would want. Mm-hmm. Talking to Andy about his hardware, helping him install RAM because he was terrified of that.
Really?
Yeah, because okay, when you're
that RAM be scary, bro. I don't know.
No, okay. I understand the concern because you have to push so much harder.
No, you're right. There is a lot of force, way more force than there should be. I don't know why, because that thing isn't going anywhere anyways.
To put in a RAM stick, literally a RAM stick.
I know. Okay, I understand.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, it's not that bad. Literally, it's impossible to put it in backwards. But anyways,
I mean, and for it to work, you put him backwards, and that stick is done for. But hey, anyways, yes, I got. Yeah, I mean, experiences,
Yeah.
I mean, you same vice versa, So. It is great, but that's besides the point. Markets and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, sorry, I'm trying to reel back, but I forgot where I left off. So I'm just gonna say, oh, you know what? I did want to talk about this. I mean, I was talking about other examples of the scalping situation. Oh, I hit something. My bad. Of this scalping situation. I mean, I use shoes, and I've talked. Okay. Now I know where I'm at. That cousin that I was gonna bring over, he's also into shoes. Because, he is, and that's, frankly, that might be why he's into investing in that type of stuff. So yeah, I said that I call it a shoe culture, but I understand that it's not really it. That's just kind of what happened, like the whole buying and reselling,
right?
Like that type of thing. I call it culture because that's how I see it. Apparently, that's not really how it is, and in fact, they are considered scumbags if they sell it for that much higher. But I mean that the shoe market and the
GPU market.
Not GPU market. Sorry, well that too, of course. Limited time clothing drops like Supreme and stuff.
Oh yeah,
right.
yeah.
So this type of thing has always been here, like the whole buying and reselling. The problem is that those are limited edition drops. Those are not consumer off the shelf items.
Right.
That's why the scalping situation is bullshit. Because I would understand if it was like, let's say, a limited edition 3080. That was fucking, I don't know, red or some shit all over, Red October style. I don't know, right? That's limited edition. They only sell like 10 of them. And they sell 10, they close it, and then it goes on eBay. That's fine. Because that's how that would work, right?
Right.
Because those are drops, and drops are limited edition, and because it's limited edition, even like, just its value itself once it's gone just raises because it is you can no longer get it. The only way to get it would be whatever price the reseller decides to put it at, and that is how that's how that reselling would work. The problem that I'm trying to bring is that these graphics cards are consumer items.
Right.
I've never in my life have ever, I mean, maybe a certain SKU of a 2080 or something like that, but I've never seen just like, oh, you can't buy this graphics card. It's always in stock. If this model is in stock, you go for this model. Whatever, you know. It's a commodity. It's t-shirts, it's paper towels that you get on grocery store. You buy it off the shelf on Best Buy, you know.
Yeah.
They are there. But now people are soaking that up. A
Right.
consumer item, and that's what enrages me.
Yeah, and
Yeah, go ahead.
it's very similar to like the toilet paper situation, because
God, we talk about the toilet papers like once every like 2 episodes, and it still pisses me off.
dude. Okay, so the scariest part is that it is very, very similar, but yet in a very, very unique way. Tasty G Fuel.
Yes,
And
product placement. Anyways,
so you know, we sit here and talk about graphics cards like it's its own separate entity, but it's really not. It has a lot of correlation. Like the same things are happening with this graphics card as what happened with toilet paper and hand sanitizer, but it's just for a different reason. It's not for, you know, it was like a fear thing during like the beginning of COVID.
It is a little different in the respect of what the purpose were of why they were being overbought, but they were overbought, and that did strike this kind of weird fluctuation in being able to buy it again, because, you know, the idea, yeah, that is a good representation, because it's just toilet paper.
Yeah.
It's just graphics cards.
Right.
I mean, they're different in price, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But literally different items itself, but like you would never think that, oh, I can't buy toilet paper today,
Right.
this week.
Yeah, and when you see those ads on Facebook Marketplace for a case of toilet paper that's like $100,
God.
you know, or like
That was,
Lysol wipes that were like $40, like it's all the same thing, because everyone is taking advantage, or not everyone, but there are people who are taking advantage of the fact that this is in limited quantity. There are going to be people who would pay way more than they probably should for this item, and so they're expediting that and exploiting it and making it so that they can make as much money as possible in the process.
Zach, do you want to know when this all started?
When?
Do you remember when the Nintendo Switch got bought out?
Yes, I do.
That, Zach, that is where I trace it back to. Not the shoes, not the Supreme, because those are different. Those are different cultures.
Right.
Those are limited edition. The first time these consumer items, consumer electronics, gadgets, entertainment devices that are meant to be produced in heavy bulk and shipped everywhere to never be out of stock unless on an unfortunate day. Those were the Nintendo Switches.
I do remember that, yeah.
I know this because I wanted to buy one. Because, oh gosh, it was right in the heat of the pandemic. Right in the heat. Animal Crossing came out. People were lining up on the GameStops and all the places and the Walmarts and the Targets. They were buying it out. And then some people were like, oh man, these are going, people were buying these.
Right.
What if I just buy like 20 what if I just buy the entire stock that Target has and sell them? That's what happened, Zach. That's when it started. That's when people got the idea of, oh man, we could totally do this. So people started making bots to buy any single Nintendo Switch that ended up getting into some sort of stock from any sort of vendor. That's when it started. So it was at that point, and then, you know, of course, the toilet paper and stuff as well. I think they went hand in hand. Nintendo Switches and toilet paper, of course, they go hand in hand. When you think Nintendo Switch, you think toilet paper, of course.
Well, I mean, of course, the main market is for when you're sitting there taking a shit, you want to be able to play video games, right?
Basically. But that is when it started. I thought about this a lot. I was like,
it's terrifying.
It is terrifying. That is when I mean, not, of course, I'm sure you can trace back another time, but that is the notable time in this current climate, in this current GPU climate, and the CPU for that matter, and just in general, the market. As people were like, oh man, we could totally do this. Bought it all. Bought the Switches, the Switch Lights. Bought it all. Do it on eBay. Offer up.
For twice as much as retail.
Twice as much.
if not more than that, actually.
You see people buy all the Nintendo Switches, stuff them in their car, take a picture, and make the listing right there.
Dude, that is one of the most terrifying things to watch from an outside perspective, because you're able to just kind of see people take advantage of unfortunate situations. And like the pandemic, like, I mean, obviously we're going to keep talking about it because we're in it.
We are in it. And even if this episode airs like months in advance, I don't know when it's going to air. I already dated it, so you can see how long it took.
A long time.
Well, COVID is going to be here. Like, I think they said it's going to be here forever. We're going to be taking shots and vaccine like it's the flu. I'm pretty sure as what I don't read on it, so I'm hearing from the grapevine. If not, whatever. But it's going to be here forever, and it's because that we are in the very heat, like literally the beginning of it and the heat of it, and as well as nearing the end of it.
Right.
Or at least as far as being restricted, like the masks and the vaccines and stuff. Which, by the way, I'd like to give a shout out to the scientists and shit who made a vaccine in a year.
Which is fucking wild.
You know? And then I'd like to give a counter shout out to the Karens who think having a disease floating around that's killed thousands of people to only have last a year. Fuck y'all. We've done pretty good. Science and technology is crazy.
Yeah.
Weird tangent, but I just wanted to give a shout out because, I mean, you look at in the past, the plague, you know, these happenings last for decades,
right,
centuries.
Yeah, exactly.
This was a year. That's pretty good, you know. And we got a vaccine. Whether or not it's good or not, I don't know. Who knows? We'll find out. But I just wanted to say that. You know, I just wanted to just say it. I don't know. It's a random, weird, random tangent, but I think it is really cool that we're able to do that. But it's because that we were in this, even if it was only a year, that means within this year we saw the rise, the climax, and the falling of what this COVID is. And during that, the market shifted respectively. We all witnessed that as consumers, and it's because of that I feel like the market is going to be very, very different going forward.
Yeah,
stabilization is going to be nuts. Like finding out where everything lies. Normal things that have been fine are probably fine. Like your bag of chips in Costco are probably going to be the same price.
Right.
But your graphics card is probably going to be $200 more than it was the last year. Your fridge is probably going to be $100 or so more than it was last year. Your TV, you know, because you got to remember, you know, it's not just the graphics card that took the hit, you know, it's electronics in general.
Right. A whole lot of different types of tech were drastically impacted by this.
Yes. So right now, stabilization is going to be very weird. I am very curious to see where things are going to lie, because there's going to be not just, I mean, this is a very, very, usually inflation, you know, it happens incrementally, right? In ways that you probably don't really notice it. You know, minimum wage increases like 50 cents. Prices on normal things probably go up like 2-3% ish. You know?
Right. Yeah.
This time, it's just like, instead of just this smooth incline of price increasing, it's just staircases.
Yeah.
Or it's not even, it's more like this. Like, audio listeners are so confused right now.
That's totally fine.
It's fine. I just know that, listen, if you're listening to this audio only, just know that it's like this. Like, now imagine what this means. Okay? It's like that. And then it'll stop.
Right.
That's very scary, because I don't know if the market has ever done that. This is kind of like, I don't want to say a Great Depression, because that was actually like very detrimental and very, very bad, you know, economy-wise.
Right, but this was one type of economic crisis, because
it definitely was.
There were things that were just completely unattainable for people to get, and there were so many situations where people were losing their jobs, people were unemployed, people were going homeless, people were just going through all different types of economic hardships during this time, and so it was like a fucking crisis. Like,
it was a crisis. Yeah, it was a economic scare of some sort. Whether it wasn't necessarily like a bubble burst, like the
housing market in 2008.
Well, that too as well. But I was going for
okay.
just broader scale, like Great Depression and stuff like that.
But
But yeah, that did happen. You know, it wasn't like that, but or that specifically, but it is an impact in the economy.
right.
So we're gonna have to adjust accordingly. Now, did I mention that this wasn't a news channel, Zach? Like once or twice at some point. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it ever.
I swear you have at least once, but I don't remember.
I don't know if this is not a news channel. This is not economic advice. This is not financial advice. If
We're
you want
just two
financial advice,
dudes.
you talk to Zach. Because
No.
Zach is a professional with finances. He goes to school for financing. He's gonna be the national treasurer of the United States. This is Zach right here. He's gonna. If you have financial advice, you go to Zach. His Twitter is in the description. You let him know.
You okay? Some people won't realize that you're joking, and then
Zach,
they'll send me like
You're a professional.
they'll send me a tweet.
You're going to the moon with Bezos
No.
Tomorrow, you got a flight to where is he? Texas? No, Elon's in Texas. Where the fuck is Bezos? Alaska? I don't know. He's somewhere.
somewhere where rich white people
Somewhere
live.
where rich white people live. Somewhere of an elevation like 100 feet taller.
Yeah, so that they can look over all the poor people and be like, it's nice to be better than them. It's like, fucking A.
He went to. You see, he did a round trip to the moon recently. The first ever.
Who did?
Bezos and his brother.
What the fuck?
The first time ever. This was not. This was this was a bit ago, like a month or so ago. The first ever non-astronaut to take a commercial, quote unquote. I don't know what else you would call it. I guess commercial flight to space. Took an airplane.
As you would.
As Bezos might.
Yeah,
We're kind
because
of bored on a Tuesday morning. I'll go to space.
I mean, what is he supposed to do with the billions of dollars that he has burning a hole in his pocket? He's like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to space.
Yeah, so he is the first person to ever just take a leisure, just to space, just leisure flight. I don't know what you even call it, but like a
Journey.
journey. I mean, I guess, like a tourist type of thing. I don't know, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean. Audio listeners know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This is the only time they understand.
Totally.
Usually they're so lost, audio listeners.
That's okay. If you're watching on Spotify, I love your face.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did get Spotify working. But although if you're watching by now, you would have already been able to watch it or listen to it on Spotify because I got that shit locked down. But as of today, I finally got it locked down.
Yeah,
I've been sending the
me a bunch of
emails.
stuff.
I've been sending emails, Zach, as I do.
As
On a Saturday
as you
morning,
do.
I'd be sending emails here and there
and everywhere.
and everywhere. I sent one to Tim Cook.
Okay,
We talk on a regular basis. When the mask lifts, we're gonna go to
Bills.
so we're gonna go to the pub. And we're gonna have a drink.
Have a couple Coronas. Hold the virus. So my question is,
Oh yeah, that was the worst 5 minutes I've ever recorded into a mic I've ever done. What was I talking about?
Bezos going to the moon.
He
So-
did go to the moon.
I have a question though. My
What is your
question
question?
is, what company did he do this through? Like, did he do it through
Well,
the Boring Company, or did he do it through NASA, or fucking
well,
what?
because he's doing a space race with Elon now, right? Right now, at the moment.
Wait, are you serious?
You not know about this?
I did not know
Zach,
about
it's been
this.
going on for like years, or not years. Sorry, like maybe like a year, give or take, a couple months. He's space racing with Elon, and
What?
I mean space racing,
Like
Cold War space
like
racing.
1960s
Yeah.
America versus the
Yeah.
fucking USSR.
Yes.
What?
You know Elon is doing rocket shit, right?
I know.
Okay,
Yes,
you know
I
that.
know. I
Bezos
know.
is doing the same thing. Did you not know this?
No.
Well, to be fair, I feel like it's more commonly known that Elon would be doing it. I don't think Bezos has ever launched a rocket. I don't know, actually. I don't follow on this stuff too much because I mean it's cool, but I mean you already know we're trying to Mars and shit,
Yeah.
space, SpaceX, Tesla, that
Stuff.
Elon Musk, Daddy.
Stephen Bills.
Yeah. Yeah, he's space racing. Did you not know this?
No, I did not know this at all.
I don't remember what company. Well, I can look that up, can't I?
While you're looking that up,
Yes.
I'm just going to talk about how absolutely batshit crazy that sounds. Like, if you were to go back even like 20 years and be like, yeah, so in the year 2021, there's going to be these two stupidly rich guys who are going to have a race to see who can go to the moon first. It's like, what the fuck? Like, why? Why are you able to have so much money that you can do things that our fucking government couldn't do until the 1960s? Like, why is that a thing?
Blue Origin, I believe is what it's called.
Blue Origin.
Blue Origin. Yeah. Because why not? Let's go to space. I got billions of dollars. Hundreds of billions of dollars, in fact. I could put $1 billion on a rocket. Because why not? Space race, Zach. We're in the middle
Space race.
We're in the middle of crazy shit right now, Zach. A lot of things are happening out there in the world. A lot more things than you think. You didn't even know there was space racing.
Yeah, I didn't know that they were space racing. That's
They're
just...
trying to get to Mars.
Wait, they're trying to get to Mars? Oh, that's fucking cool.
Well, I don't know. Well, I mean, Elon's trying to get to Mars.
Yeah.
Trying to create civilization in Mars. Tesla factory in Mars, by the way. We go to Mars, all you'll see are Teslas. It's a Tesla planet. Tesla's only in Mars.
Tesla planet. Sure.
Tesla planet.
They're going to end up renaming Mars to Tesla planet because that's going to be where all of the Teslas are made.
Dude, but it's going to be scary. It'll be crazy, like.
Right.
I don't know.
It'll be terrifying.
It's fascinating to me, and to everybody, right? Because it's definitely something that, I mean, it's a big dream, it's space, it's space, and being able to go there without being an astronaut, even that factor is cool. But, sometimes you don't really realize the scale of these things until you think about it. You don't just go to space.
Yeah.
Unless you're Bezos, but you don't, you don't just go to space. This is 2021, and the rocket went to the moon in like fucking 1750 BC or some shit like that. I don't know. Somewhere around there, right? Give or take, rounding up a little bit.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think
Putin. Putin going into space in 20,000 BC, something like that.
Yeah,
sounds about right. On a bear.
Rootin' tootin' Vladimir Putin.
Something like that. I don't know. You don't realize how big these scales are. And anyways, what was I even fucking talking about?
Hang on.
Go ahead.
I need to look something up.
Go ahead and look it up. But anyways, yes, scalpers, market share. I mean, I guess sure, but just the market in general. It's scary, and its stabilization is going to be something that's going to take a while. I mean, people say, hey, when do you think I can finally buy a graphics card? And I say, bro, to be honest, probably like in 2 years. Now, what can happen is that they'll finally return on stock in 2022 next year, right? But that doesn't mean that I don't think the prices in the market itself is going to stabilize within then. It very well could. But the safest I can tell someone without being wrong would be to 2023. Because I know for a fact that these fabs and these factories in Taiwan and China, like they're saying like, hey, we're getting our shit back together. This is great. But it's still probably going to take a year or 2 or 3 or 4.
Right.
There's still a lot of time. I mean, like I said, it's crazy how we were able to get a vaccine within a year time frame. I was ready for the long run, because last time, like the plague, for example, obviously the plague was its own thing. That was pretty fucking wild, but that as just a pandemic example. It was a pandemic, right? Or was it just in Europe?
It came from somewhere and went
I would hope it did, Zach.
Well,
but anyways, okay, it doesn't matter. Big large scale thing that went crazy, batshit crazy, and took decades to centuries. I don't know. Not a news channel, by the way. I think I might have said that before. I'm not sure.
It was a pandemic. Okay, so I'm gonna segue away from this for just a second because I looked something up and this is gonna be really insane to think about.
Let's see it. What is it, Zach? What do you really need to break my focus and my episode, my topic right now? and I was about to go on for another hour. The people were about to hear another hour of wisdom from Arthur. What is it that you needed to break my Zach? I was in the zone.
Don't talk to me. I'm in the zone.
Don't talk to me. I'm in the zone. You talk to me. Now I'm out of the zone. What is it that it's so important that you need to tell me right now? Let me know. Let me hear it. Let's see. Here we go. This is Zach. Zach has the floor. This right now is Zach's corner.
24 people have traveled beyond low Earth orbit and either circled, orbited, or walked on the moon. 24 people since the first people went to the moon during the space race.
24.
24.
And you know what Jeff Bezos did? He said it was 22. Him and his brother went 22. He was like, "No, I'll make it 24."
Fuck it, dude.
Fuck it, dude.
What else would I do this weekend?
On a Saturday morning, just like, yeah, I'll go to space.
Fuck it, dude.
Fuck it, dude. But
that's just mind-boggling.
But that can happen. That will happen. That's the future. Because you need to understand, like I said, like I was saying earlier, you need to understand that sometimes it's funny to look. We're talking about this right now. Just some rich dude just went to space or whatever. But that's the future. You know?
Pretty soon, not rich people are going to be going to space.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I would assume that they would still have to have a fat sum of money first. So maybe not rich people, but definitely not
Jeff Bezos.
Zach, I don't think you're going to space if you're middle class. I don't think. Probably not. Not yet.
Probably not. No.
That's maybe much farther, of course. But you know, I think that. I mean, you have to. You understand? Like I said, at some point, the middle class is going up there, if they want to, if they so choose to.
Right.
That's the future.
If they want to have a go.
You know, and it's like electric cars. You know, like nice.
I really wish they could have saw the face that I just made, because it was just like.
Audio listeners, actually, no, they heard it.
They heard it. So
visual listeners are confused. The visual watchers are confused now. Checkmate, visual watchers.
The turns have tabled, bitch.
So, but electric cars have been like, I mean, Tesla wasn't the first to like do electric cars. I mean, I think they were the first, but the idea has always been there, but it's always been like, it's not really, gas cars are, but it takes someone preferably with a lot of money lying around,
right,
to sit there and make these just kind of random calls to try and push things. Because
so something that I wanted to bring up is that the idea of a fully electric car was not really realized until Tesla.
I'm pretty sure it was right. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. I'm pretty sure it was Tesla. But what I'm trying to get at, sorry, you can go after this, but like it takes these types of people to make these differences in the market, and not just in the market, but in lifestyle and stuff. Because now, first of all, Zach, have I mentioned that this is a news channel yet?
This is or is not?
Have I mentioned that this is not a news channel yet?
You just said it is a news channel. Are we talking about the news?
Are we a news channel now? This is a news channel now. Oh, we are a news channel because you're a financial advisor.
Right.
You're a financial.
That's totally
that's
something
what you are.
That, yeah.
You have a master's in accounting. And you also have a culinary background and astrophysics. Zach. That's what Zach is. So you let him, if you have questions, you ask him. Okay.
No, this is not a news channel.
This is a new. No, I'm just kidding. This is not a news channel. Tesla. I also don't know very much about electric cars. Gonna say that out there. I don't know anything about cars. I don't know anything about cars. I'm not a car dude.
Time for the news.
Stop. Don't ever do that again. Ever. So I don't know much about cars, So naturally, I don't know much about electric cars, but because I'm a tech enthusiast, it does interest me. So the reason why I have so much respect for what Tesla does is, even though now other electric cars are ending up in the market, like Porsche and Ford has one now, I think.
Yeah. So
Ford, right?
Ford just came out with the Ford Lightning. It's
yes.
The F-150 Lightning. Mm-hmm. It's a fully electric pickup truck, which is super dope.
Oh, that's right. Because they have the F1s, right? The gas cars, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm glad you brought that up, because normally when you see an electric car, that's an electric car. it has this futuristic, this modern, this sleek look, and it's not really for everybody,
Right.
And then Ford, I mean, the F1,
Everybody knows what an F-150
everybody knows
looks
what
like.
I know what an F-150 looks. Did I say I don't know nothing about cars yet? Have I said that at some point?
Probably.
I said it. This I have said. Is this a news channel or not? I don't think I've said that yet. This is not a news channel.
No.
But I've definitely said that I don't know much about cars, but I'll say an F1. I'll see one of the F-150. I don't know what it's called, but I know what it is.
Yeah,
It's a
what it
very
looks
universal
like.
look.
It's very iconic.
Yes, exactly. It's a very quote unquote normal looking car. And it was at this point that Ford made a very, very cool move. And it's that they didn't do some aggressive looking design. I mean, I think it has a couple, like it might have a couple lines and stuff. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah. There are certain things, like I watched I think Unbox Therapy made a video about it.
Mhm.
And they were talking about all the different stuff that they have in this truck, and it's just absolutely insane. And it looks like a truck.
It's just a truck.
It's
It's just a car.
truck. Yeah.
It's just a car.
It's literally just a car, but it's fully electric. From the video that I watched, he said that there is enough battery power in that truck to be able to run as a generator for your house for 2 days. Just off of a truck.
Yes.
It's like they are taking something that has been a utility for, like 100 years now almost. And, everyone has a pickup truck.
Yeah.
Who is an outdoorsman, who is like one of those people who needs to like haul things, do anything like that. It is used as a tool and as a utility. And so the really cool thing about the Ford Lightning is that it is built as a utility, and it uses the different opportunities that you would have by having a fully electric truck. And
I'm looking at pictures. This is just a truck, man.
It's just a truck.
It's just a truck, dude. Like it's just a car, What Tesla, first of all, they look cool, like the Model S's and stuff. And the Porsche, I don't know, I forget what they're called. Mach, I think. Mach-E, something like that. I don't know if it's actually Porsche. But
I have no idea.
I don't know either. But, these electric cars, like I was saying, they have these very aggressive designs, and you can spot them. But what if fuck, bro, Honda drops Civic that's electric? Because
That'd
why
be
not?
sick. That would be really cool.
And it just looks like a Civic.
It just so happens to be fully electric. See, that's the really cool part, because you hear like the headlines about like the Cybertruck and all that kind of stuff, and it looks like it's coming straight out of like 2050.
Yes.
But then you have something like the Ford F-150 Lightning, and that is just a normal looking truck.
Yeah.
And once electric cars are kind of start to become a little bit more mainstream and become something that is more commercially available for people, they're going to end up kind of reverting back to the look of gas cars.
Definitely.
Because I mean, they've done aerodynamic tests on these cars. They've done all types of efficiency and like all of that kind of stuff. Now, granted, that's with gas, but at the same time, a lot of those things can still be applied with an electric car. And so, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Like if you can use the same type of body style as a gas engine car, then you could do it with electric.
Hey
as
man,
well.
if you can just have the same mask and mold as as a normal car that we already have, like I said, the Civic. So I don't know a lot about cars, so I can't really just throw another name. Let's just say a Civic, same exact exterior, same exact body. You stick a battery in it.
Yeah,
That will save a lot in cost, Zach, because new tooling, that costs a lot of money.
right.
New masks, new designs, that costs a lot of money. I know this. That's a lot of money to change the way some sort of norm has been created.
Right.
To create something new. That itself will bring, because these prices are starting to go down now that it's still kind of up there in the luxurious area, but at some point it's not going to be. And that will be the step to do it, because like I was saying, the F-150 just looks like an F1. It looks like a truck. It looks like a car. Not
Right.
everybody wants an exotic looking, aggressive looking vehicle. I don't want one. I don't give a fuck, because people who buy those want, one, they're enthusiasts. Two, they want to show off. If I have a wife and 3 kids, bro, I don't give a fuck, bro. What people? I'm not like, man, I'm trying to look at my car, bro. I mean, some people are like that, sure, but
Yeah.
that's not me. That's not most people.
Right.
That's not what non-enthusiasts are.
Right, exactly. And so when you take something like literally exactly what you were saying, it costs a lot of money to build these warehouses where they can manufacture these cars. And so Ford, they've done a really fucking amazing job. Obviously the interior and exterior is a lot different from their normal F-150, but at the same time they were able to take the 2021 Ford F-150, keep the same type of body style, and then just change the interior and make it so that it's electric. And if they decided to do that with a whole bunch of other different car companies like Subaru, Honda, Toyota, all of those different companies, and especially the companies who are already making hybrids, because they're already manufacturing some type of electric engine. And so, obviously it would be a huge difference, but
I mean, yes.
It's not like you're trying to manufacture an entirely different car.
Mm-hmm.
And so honestly, I think that we are about to see a lot of different electric cars come out from a whole bunch of different companies, because there are just so many people who have been like creeping, like the Nissan Leaf and like all of the Priuses and all of that kind of stuff. The ones that are just really, really stupid looking for no good reason.
Hey man, I like my hatchback. Fuck you.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about like Priuses and
I know.
all that kind of stuff. If you have a Prius, I'm sorry.
You're fucking stupid. No, I'm just joking. I don't mind Priuses. Don't worry. I love you guys.
I don't mind them either.
No, Zach, you hate them.
Okay.
You see him on the road and you're like, he's done for, and you go, "Argh!"
Ram his ass off the road. Anyways,
that's what Zach is. This type of person Zach is. All right, go ahead.
You're such a dick. So when, God, I lost my train of thought. So when people are manufacturing like hybrids and all of that kind of stuff, I feel like it would be a much easier transition to electric cars. Obviously, I'm not the type of person like, oh, I'm a mechanic. I build.
Yeah, right.
I build for Tesla. Like, obviously not.
But we're consumers. We're the people who are going to buy the cars.
Exactly.
So we consider these things, because you and I might own an electric car if this is where the market takes us. If not, then we might end up with a gas car.
Right.
But the main purpose I'm trying to get at is, and I think we already had an episode on competition, but I'll say it again. If it wasn't for Elon Muskie boy and his Tesla company to run around and say, fuck it, bro, let's make an electric car. I mean, that's probably not exactly how it went. Probably something like that.
I mean, I honestly would not be surprised at all if he was like, you know what?
That does sound like an Elon Musk thing to do.
Yeah, he's like, let's just fuck around and find out.
And everybody's like, you sure? Mr. Musk, are you he's like, yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah, his financial advisors are just like, wait, but this is going to cost like $3.4 billion. And he's like, fuck it, dude, I'll sell a flamethrower.
But no. It's because of that aggressive market. You're fine. I didn't hear it. Because of that aggressiveness and changing the market. That's why, I mean, we see it all the time. Like Apple, right?
Yeah.
They yank the headphone jack in the iPhone 7. They're like, you're a fucking idiot. Tim Apple,
Stephen Bills.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
You know what? And then commercials of like Samsung, they're like mocking the iPhone 7, like, oh, we got a headphone jack and stuff like that. You know what they did next year?
They yoinked the fucking
headphone jack next year, Zach.
Yeah.
It's these trendsetters that, I mean, you can make fun of Apple all you want. You can say they're a closed ecosystem. You can say that they are a monopoly of their own areas of their own ecosystem. You can say whatever you want to say about Apple, but what Apple does is it shifts the market, because no Android phone would do that. And now that Apple has done that, now Android phones are starting to fuck around and try some shit. Now they're adding more powerful speakers. You see the Sony phones recently?
Mm-mm.
Sony phones, bro. Listen, I have so much respect for Sony Android phones. They are so cool. The first phones have 4K displays, HDMI output.
Whoa.
Or not output, but output or input rather, so you can hook up your camera. Because if you got a Sony mirrorless, you got a Sony phone.
Fuck it.
Monitor.
That's cool.
Right?
That is so cool.
Just USB-C.
That's fucking wild.
Right? And they're trying all of these things, and recently they dropped a new one, Xperia 12. I don't know. They dropped a new one, or not? Maybe not dropped. Maybe more announced it, or rather. Sleek camera bump. It's not as fucking aggressive. Really, they have their cameras app, I mean, it's Sony, bro. You know it's going to be like a camera.
Yeah.
You have control of everything. You know? Sony's doing some cool things. They still have a headphone jack, Zach! They have a headphone jack!
What the fuck? Okay, wait. Okay, let me get this straight. So they have a 4K display.
Yes.
They have HDMI in.
Yes.
They also have basically no camera bump. They have.
It's there, but it's basically. I mean, the S20. Come on, we've seen the S20,
Yeah.
bro. That shit is. It's
This
not
is
a
bulbous.
bump, bro. It's another layer.
Yeah, it's literally like a cold sore, and then they have the fucking headphone jack. Like,
This is
okay.
what I'm saying, bro. But
What?
here's the thing. If Apple never decided to do weird things, Android would never have done weird things.
Okay,
If Tesla never would have just done an electric car, then there would never be an electric car. At least not yet. We would still be waiting for it. But it's because Musk decided to do some random shit.
Elon Tusk.
Elon Musk, you know? He just decided to fuck around and try it. It's not perfect, you know?
Right.
These cars are not perfect. They're beta at most. But you need these
It's
beta
the
tests.
start.
It's a start. Otherwise, we would have been doing this same beta test in like 10, 20, 100 years. Someone just said, fuck it, let's try it. Put it on the road. Make sure it hit all the safety guidelines. Throw it on the road. Try it. Now other companies are doing it now.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, I guess to go back to the Apple being a trendsetter, you talk about the first iPhone that came out,
Yes.
and everyone was sitting there like, oh, this isn't going to work. Like, who's going to buy a phone that doesn't have very many buttons? Like,
Mhm.
who's going to want to type on a keyboard that isn't a physical
Isn't
keyboard?
tactile. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. And then that ended up completely changing the way that smartphones work. And it just turned into like everyone is wanting a smartphone. Everyone is wanting to be able to search the internet, able to use social medias and all of that type of stuff. Everyone wants to do the things that iPhones were able to do in the very beginning. And Android, like, I've watched a bunch of videos of Android versus Apple in the very beginning. They were nowhere close.
No, not at all.
Like, they were so far behind, and it was just absolutely insane. And then as time went on, the Android phones like Samsung, LG, RIP
Oh,
LG,
rest in peace.
yeah, you know, all of those different companies that were starting on the smartphone train finally were able to catch up, and now we're at a point where, you know, you can get some really, really amazing phones probably from an unlikely place. Like, you know, you talk about all of the different companies from all around the world that are making really amazing smartphones.
Yeah, like Oppo and OnePlus. I mean, we looked at OnePlus phones too, and around that time they weren't even that popular. Well, they were popular in the enthusiast space because they were like big bang for your bucks. But now they're doing the flagship stuff because now they're a very widespread company, you know.
Right.
And it's the combination of these things. Trendsetters who do something crazy just to get it out there, and it's super expensive or whatever the fuck it is, you know, and it's ridiculous, but it's the first of its kind.
Like
And-
the Galaxy Fold.
Yeah. And then everybody else decides they want to jump in. They go for it. They make their own iterations, and then snowball effect. Competition comes. They try to beat each other out. Prices go down.
Right.
That's what's going to happen with. I mean, I'm pretty sure that is what's happening with electric cars right now. Tesla came out, Model S, expensive as shit. Who the fuck would buy this? Well, if you're walking home with 10K every day, then sure.
Fuck it.
Now, we see normal people have them. I mean, they're dropping a pretty penny, but not as much as, you know, before. Competition helps everybody. Competition keeps prices down, makes consumer happy.
Competition
creates
breeds creativity.
Yes, it makes new things happen and makes them cheaper. So I would probably just okay, we're axing like 5 episodes, so honestly we might have talked about it in one of the episodes that we axed, but we did have a competition episode. But I mean, we're having it right now.
Yeah,
But,
it's really interesting when we're able to correlate so many things that you wouldn't really necessarily expect to be so related to one another. Like, we were talking about graphics cards, and then we were talking about the toilet paper crisis, and it's just like all of these things are related in such a way to where it's like if you kind of like turn your head and squint, they kind of correlate together. But when you're talking about competition and new companies coming up with new ideas, companies starting new trends, all of those types of things, they do have a correlation with one another.
Yes.
And they all seem to spark from one person just kind of deciding to fuck around and find out.
Mm-hmm.
Which is amazing. It's
amazing.
amazing to watch, especially at the age range that we're at, where
Yeah, definitely.
we grew up watching technology grow and watching the evolution of technology from basically a first person perspective.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we weren't there for the beginning of it, but we were here for
Oh,
the
right.
maturation,
The maturing,
maturing,
mature.
maturation is definitely a word. I just don't think it's pronounced that way. Maturation,
I don't know. Words are hard.
the maturing.
The maturing.
Zach, have I ever mentioned I took honors English too?
Very many times. Like,
you sure?
honestly, at this point, too
I feel
many
like
times.
I haven't mentioned it yet.
Did I tell you that I took AP Music Theory?
I haven't mentioned I took calculus. Look,
I failed English 101. We are in a very interesting time in the world right now. And some of it's for a good reason and a lot of it's for a bad reason. But we are going to be able to look back in 10 years and think, wow, what a fucking time. Like, what the hell was going on during this period of time?
okay, I remember what I was going to say now.
What?
I remember what I was going to say now.
Go for it.
Yeah, so we weren't here exactly for the beginning of the internet and technology and stuff. We were not necessarily here for it. If we were not able to talk yet or
Yes.
see or, well, all we could do was exist. But we were here for the maturation. That's where I got confused there. And it's because of that I mean, we're still part of it. It's still maturing,
Mm-hmm.
But we were here for not necessarily its infancy, but its growth. And now at this point, it is the maturation. What is that word? At this point, it is the maturing. It's not maturing, dude. Is it maturation? That's such a fucking stupid word. Maybe there's a synonym for that. I don't know. But you know what I'm talking about, Right now is the maturing phase of it, because now it's at that peak that I was talking about, that diminishing returns thing, where I feel like it's not going to get any better. At least, what? Maturation. Are you sure?
I just looked it up.
I know, and you played it through the Google thing. Why does that not?
That doesn't sound right. But
Maturation.
the future Googling man said that it was right. So I think we're just gonna have to
That
say
he
that it's
did.
right. So being able
See, we couldn't do that 10, 12, 15 years ago, Zach. 20 years ago, Zach.
yeah, the internet.
We're boomers. We're old people, Zach, now. We saw the growth, not the birth, but we saw the growth, and we've seen the maturation of it, Zach, it was our class. We were in school when Chromebooks first came out.
Oh my God, you are so fucking right.
When Chromebooks, the first time Chromebooks were ever beta tested to be in classrooms and schooling, we were there. That was our class. And now Chromebooks are just fucking everywhere in school.
Do you remember the school lab
Yeah, of course I do.
when that was a thing?
I mean, it's still a thing. But what I'm saying is,
But like,
You no longer have to-
one uses it.
yeah,
anymore.
because we have Chromebooks
and iPads.
and iPads. Some schools have iPads, I think.
We were too poor for that. But
But nowadays they might have an iPad lying around if you're in school.
Exactly.
We were here for the growth of crazy things that are happening these days. And yeah, we're boomer talking, but I love boomer talking because it's fun. Because we know very much about boomer talk and growing up when we were kids, and our parents like, oh, these kids don't know about nothing. They don't know about back in the day when we didn't have technology. I think technology is cool, and I think the future is cool. I'm not like those people, Zach. The old people that are like, oh, they would never have lived during the time we had no internet. Man, no, we wouldn't. But that's the past, and nobody cares. We're talking about the present and the future, Zach.
Yeah, the past sucks.
Everyone
knows that the past
Everybody
sucks.
knows that the past sucks, bro. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Ow.
Technology is cool, and I'm excited to see what the future holds. The problem is, it's just really fucky-wucky right now, you know?
Yeah, everything is fucky-wucky
Everything
right now.
is really
like,
fucky-wucky. And it's a little scary because it's like, you know, like I was saying, we were here for the growth, you know? And we were here to see it kind of, we were here to see it. You can go ahead and do it. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying that we are sitting at
that we are.
a long time.
It's all good. Let me just finish my thought, though.
Yeah. Go for it.
Let me finish my thought. So,
yeah, do I need to reset the camera? Probably not.
You probably should, because it has been 25 minutes.
Okay.
So, people are so confused right now. It's okay. So, it's because it's this maturation. No, this is the growth. It's because we've been watching it grow and watching it get better and all that type of stuff. And it was really cool to see as someone growing up in the space. But now we're seeing it freak the fuck out, Zach. If this was a child, we were watching it grow and it hit puberty. And now twice. And now we're scared. You know?
It's like my joints right now. It's literally like the way that my joints feel right now, because I went through puberty and my joints were like, wow, that fucking sucked. And then now I'm like growing again for some godforsaken reason, and my joints were like, I wasn't prepared for this. What the fuck is going on? Please send help. And it's the same thing with the growth and development in tech, because I don't think any of us were expecting to get to the point to where we are now, and
No.
I don't think we were expecting to get to the point to where we were like 5 years ago.
No.
You know, like we're talking about so many things that are pretty bad shit crazy. Like you talk about phones that are literally folding in half,
Mm-hmm.
like the screen the size of a tablet that can fit in your pocket. I mean, granted, it had a lot of flaws and problems, but that was the start of something absolutely fucking bad shit crazy.
Well, here's the thing, Zach. Like I was talking about, this batshit crazy thing, we need someone to start it, otherwise it's never going to happen.
Right.
You know, that's why I had so much respect for LG, man. That's why everybody had respect for LG. You know, because they didn't have a flip, but they always had weird concepts. Like the wing, I think is what it was called, where it came up and it flipped sideways. They had a fold, but it wasn't really a fold, but it was two phones, basically.
Oh,
slapped
yeah.
together. I saw that in person. It was really cool. You know, they just tried these weird things, and it's because of that. Now, you know, I think I've talked about it before, but that because they did that, even if it was a major flop, financially wise, that has now officially been set on the table.
Right. There are so many things that you don't really know if it's possible until you just try it. And even if it doesn't end up being successful, like the Galaxy Fold is like one of the biggest flops that Samsung has had in the recent years. But at the same time, they threw out this absolutely crazy concept, and now they're able to refine it and turn it into something that we could use on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm. It's still very expensive, but still, you know, it's like, just to think about it, it's a little chonky, you know, but it's closer to the future than we've ever been, you know, because we started with flip phones, the old Razor flip phones, and then the slidey Blackberries and shit.
Right.
Then we chopped all that and just made it a slab, and now we're doing both, you know, in a way that makes sense.
Right. This is a development that I'm sure that all of us really kind of thought about and was like, that would make sense as kind of like a next step. But I don't think any of us thought that it would happen, and it would happen as soon as it did, because we have phones nowadays that are so powerful and that are so compact in their design of the electronics in it that, like, dude, you've seen how small and thin phones have gotten.
Yes.
And, like, you know, that the reason why we were able to get phones that small is because we had situations like the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6 Plus where they were bending because they weren't made out of the right material for them to be as small as they were.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that development of you just kind of keep pushing the limits until you fuck it up, and then you refine it, and the 6S came out, and it ended up being a really, really solid phone, and that didn't end up being a problem anymore for them.
Yes. It's all about the hits, because you really think, like, when a product comes out, it should be perfect. It should be ready for prime time, and it just should be like the goal. Like, if it comes out, you would think it's perfect.
Right.
People are gonna buy it. It'll be great. We'll make our margins. You know, that's what you think, but it's not. Sometimes it's not that. Sometimes it's that you just need to make something, body the cash, and just throw it out there and see what happens. Get feedback on it. Get criticism on it. Go back to the drawing board. Try again. Figure it out again. Fix it. Get more feedback. Because how are you going to know if the consumer never touches it?
Right. If you spend so much time in development, then how are you going to know the pros and cons from a consumer perspective? Because you're never going to be able to look at a phone that you're making the same way that someone would look at it if they're purchasing it.
Never at all.
Like
that goes for everything, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so that moment when companies take that leap of faith and they do something crazy, they do something insane, like you were talking about the LG with the 2 phones, basically.
Yeah.
You know, that was really, really cool. And I saw it at the high school. Like, I saw people who bought that phone. Yeah. I'm like, holy shit, dude, that's insane.
That's cool, bro.
And like even you know, the sidekicks and like all of that kind of stuff, like you know, that was the type of stuff where, you know, you were able to be creative, you were able to express yourself in the types of tech that you had on you. And of course that was like sidekicks and Walkmans. But
yeah. Go ahead. You're going. Oh man. Yeah, go ahead.
Man. But you know, that's just one of those things that happens when technology progresses. We have those moments of like, we've hit the border, which we have with smartphones. Like, before the Galaxy Fold and the folding phone really became an idea, we hit like a wall. The phone could only be so fast, the phone could only be so big without it being annoying, and the phone could only be so skinny, and like it could only be so thin without breaking. And there were only a certain amount of materials that you could use that would make it so that it was strong enough to not bend in your pocket. And there were only a certain amount of optimizations that you can make before you've just kind of made a different design for the same phone. And so the people who are really pushing the limits, the people who are really trying to go for something new, something never seen before in the market, those are the people who are going to end up starting a trend and sending technology in a new direction. And, you know, bringing it back to NVIDIA too, you know, the sheer amount of power that they put into those 30 series cards is just absolutely insane. And the fact that they were able to do that, and also, I mean, granted, it kind of fucked up the ecosystem for a while, but the fact that they were able to make it at a cost that would make it so affordable can only make you optimistic for the future. Because once people realize, like, okay, this is where we're going and this is what the future of tech price-wise is going to look like, you know, that could really start to make an economic shift in technology. And, you know, you look at 20 series cards, and those cards are still really, really powerful. And like, you know, you're still using your 2080 Ti, and the fact that you're upgrading to the 3080, like that's its own thing. But the fact that you're able to literally buy any game that you want that's on the market right now and play it at the highest resolution that you can on a 144 hertz monitor, or even at 4K if you wanted to, like, that's absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that is something that I am so glad that I get to watch, because I remember when I first got my first PC, and I mean, granted, I was gaming on a laptop for a little while, but the first PC that I had didn't have a graphics card. It had 4 gigabytes of RAM. It had an Intel i3 core processor, and it was just a bag of shit. And that was back when pre-builds were absolute dog shit, and they were just the absolute worst. But now you look at pre-builds, like one of my friends just got a gaming laptop that has a 3060 in it.
Yeah.
it's like, that's the most fucking insane thing ever. I mean, granted, the thing was like $1,500, but that's buying it brand spanking new right out of Best Buy. And like, you know, it was like a Core i7, 16 gigs of RAM, you know, 1 terabyte SSD.
Sure,
It's running pretty much what you would need to keep up with a 3080 or a 3060, sorry. But that's just where everything's going now. Everything's becoming easier to put into your hands. Everything is becoming easier to put into your pocket. Everything is easier for you to just grab onto and just pick a game, whatever it may be. You know, it could be something that was released a week ago and it would still be able to run it without any problems at all. And that's talking about the last generation of graphics cards.
Yes.
And so when you're talking about the future, at least when it comes to gaming, you know, you can only make games so realistic. You can only make the quality of the game so high without it being for this niche market of people who have high-end $3,000 PCs.
Right.
And think about consoles. The power of consoles has gotten absolutely insane too.
Well, yeah. I even as a PC guy, you know, consoles, they're unfortunately they ended up hitting the same blow as the whole graphics card thing because they got priced super duper crazy competitive, and now they're not very competitive, at least on eBay. But yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah,
things are getting crazy, things are getting smaller, things are being more accessible, and with that being said, it's getting more cheaper too, and that's kind of where that power that's where I was incorrect in that Minecraft episode of podcast when I said that there's no way things can get faster. Things can't get faster, things can get cheaper.
Right. They can get better optimized.
Yeah, they can be better optimized. Well, I personally would not call a 30 series card optimized, but that's just me.
Right.
But they can get faster, sure, but because they need to be some sort of marginal upgrade from before, they get cheaper. Right. And that is where that massive margin is. I mean, to be fair, yes, the 3080 is like super duper faster than the 2080, right?
Right.
But if they were the same price or even more expensive, because if I were to drop that with that power, I would have made it more expensive than the 3080. That puts it in a different position. Like I was saying earlier, the 2070 launched at $499. The 3070 launched for $499. They are very different weight classes, though.
Right.
So the 3070 should not have been priced at $499. It should have been priced accordingly.
Right. And when you're talking about such a drastic increase in power, they're fighting way out of their weight class in that regard. They are punching down really hard coming from the 20 series cards to the 30 series cards, because like you said, the 3060 is the equivalent of what, the 2080.
Mm-hmm.
And so
somewhere around there, the 3060 Ti is about a 3080. 3060, like I think about it a lot, like the 2060. I mean, it's like not in the lowest end, because there's also the 1660 and the 1650, you know, but it's down there, you know, when you stack it up. 2080 Ti, 2080, 2080 Ti, 2080 Super, 2080, 2070 Super, 2070, 2060 Super, 2060. It's down there. The 60 card is pretty low. And now it trades blow with the 2080, which was third place.
Right.
For less than half the cost. Or half the cost, I think. It should not have been priced there. That's my argument. It should not have been priced there. It should have been priced accordingly. So, with that being said, like the 3060, it's very weird, because you're like, oh, I have a 3060, and you're like, that's it, you know, because there's a 3060 Ti, 3070 Ti, 3080, 3080 Ti, 3090.
Right.
When you look at it from outside and you don't really know what the performance is, and you just look at it from a SKU stack, you're like, that's not that. It's really low down there, and it's because of that. Then that idea makes it justifiable for the $399-ish price, I think it is, but that's not its weight class.
Right.
That's where it got really, really weird. and the line got really, really blurred. But that, oh Jesus, that sounded terrible. But that's why this tangent is so strange. We haven't gotten any sort of conclusion, but that's why the market got so crazy, because if these were priced higher and accordingly, these graphics cards would have been fine.
Right. Yeah, and we wouldn't have had that situation where everything was just going absolutely batshit crazy. People were buying dozens of graphics cards.
It would still happen,
them.
but not as to scale, because these would be much more expensive.
Right.
But because they're so inexpensive. These are cheap, Zach. I mean, it's still $300-$400 plus. That's that's a pretty penny. But in comparison and relativity, these are dirt cheap.
Right.
For way too much power.
Yeah, they are probably, this is the most powerful lineup of graphics cards I have ever seen.
Yeah.
And they're competitive with everything,
yes,
price-wise and power-wise. And it's like, when you're talking about what graphics card should I upgrade to, you were even telling me once the 30 series cards came out, I was talking about upgrading to like the 2070 or the 2080. You're like, dude, just wait.
Do not. And I apologize now, because if you just got the 2070, we wouldn't have this fucking issue.
Yeah.
You would have had a card that would work, and now you're not sitting here in limbo.
Yeah.
I apologize.
But
I apologize to everybody that I said wait, because don't worry, trust me, it'll be a great thing. Go ahead. You know what? Go ahead, because I have something that I will say.
But I will say that I'm still going to wait for a 30 series card. I think I'm either going to go for the 3060 or the 3070. Just because I don't need a 3080. I don't need a 3090. Like that, there's no reason financially or like practically why I would need that much power in a system. It's like I don't think I'm ever going to be able to use those cards to their full potential. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people need to really understand and wrap their head around, is that practically, is there a point in you having something that is so powerful that it might make you have to buy a whole new system for it?
Hold on. Where is this mouse? Where is this mouse? I have a Logitech G305. I recently bought this, like literally the other week for Prime Day. Dating the episode again, by the way.
Gosh.
I love this mouse so much.
I was giving you shit about this mouse.
Were you?
Well,
fuck you.
No, I was just kind of like, wait, why did you buy like the
same price mouse? Because it's wireless, Zach. No, I'm just kidding. But that is half the point. That's besides the point, though. Other mice, like you would think, because other wireless mouse, like the Lightspeed, or sorry, I mean this is Lightspeed as well. The G Pro wireless, the Razer Viper Ultimates, those $70, $80, $100 plus. I don't need that. You don't need that. People who play a couple games of Valorant don't need that.
Right.
Zach, I think these mics sounds pretty okay, right?
Yeah.
Do you think I should have bought Shure SM7Bs?
No.
For the start of this podcast?
No.
We're just starting out. We're making no money. Oh yeah, let me just buy $300 Shure SM7, $400 Shure SM7Bs. Let me just do that. We definitely just opened a different window. We're definitely talking about something else now, but I like this topic. Good job. I bought this because this is all I know how much I need. I'm responsible enough to understand what tech I need. Why did I spend $50 on a keyboard that's super cheaply made to game, and then spend twice that much on an actual keyboard that I'm not gaming on? Because I know I'm using this keyboard more. I use it for work. Right. So I need this keyboard. I don't need to spend a super expensive amount of money on a gaming keyboard because I'm not gaming that much. I allocated that money elsewhere. I allocated that money into a better computer.
Right.
I allocated that money on a better monitor.
Right. And when we're talking about the practicality of certain things, I know that we're going to get meta for a second, but like we're talking about a set that was built out of spare pieces of particle board that you had and fucking Amazon Basic legs, table legs. Like this is what we're working with, and like this all started with equipment that we already had. The only thing that we really bought in the very beginning was these microphones, and that's because we needed to be able
to talk, Zach. That'd be probably pretty important for a podcast. That is a necessary buy. This was a necessary buy.
Right.
You know what isn't a necessary buy, Zach?
$300 microphones.
$400 microphones, $100 boom arm.
Right.
$300 lights. $100 headphones.
Right.
$100, $200 table.
I'm using hand-me-down headphones from you.
These headphones are $25.
Right.
Sometimes you have to just use the things that you have now and just work with it, because sometimes you never know that might be what you need and that might be enough for you.
Right.
Because if you buy Shure SM7B, if you're a Twitch streamer with like not very many followers, listen, I don't have many either. I'm in that same category. Not pulling that many views. Why are you buying a $400 microphone to place it all the way over here? Hey guys, I just bought a Shure. I'm trying to position it. Oh god, that sounds terrible. I'm sorry. I'm trying to position it to where I see streamers put them, like all the way down here. Hey guys, I just bought it. Can you even hear me?
A little bit, yeah.
Hey guys, I just bought a Shure SM7B. We just hit 100 followers. I just got affiliated on Twitch. I decided to treat myself with a $400 microphone, a $200 audio interface, and a $100 microphone stand, a boom arm. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to put it this far because I don't know how a Shure SM7B works, and you're supposed to hold it right here. You're supposed to talk to it this close to your face. By the way, if you didn't know this, if you have a Shure SM7B, you're supposed to be fucking kissing it.
Basically,
you should be able to do that. That's how dynamic microphones work, by the way. I bet you didn't even know it was dynamic, dumbass. Sorry, it triggers me so much because
and then
you shouldn't understand, because you need to understand. Sorry, I need to stop moving the mic. I'm sorry, that sounds terrible. I'm sorry. Audio listeners are fuming.
We're just calling you guys out today.
Zach, this mic. What? Where's your camera? That microphone right there. This one right here that we used during the other episode with the guest.
Yes,
it's a hammer arm microphone. It's like, you could probably buy it. You could probably buy something similar. It's old one, so you can't buy that exact one. You could buy something similar for like $20 to $50.
Right.
And they sound great.
I know. Okay, dude. Okay. All right. Okay. So
okay.
Since we're getting super fucking meta, do you want to talk about the lights that we used for the first fucking 15 episodes? They're 2 lights that I got for like, oh gosh, there was a set of 3 of them, and the 3 of them was like $60.
Yes.
And all of these lights that are in here, I mean, other than your key light, but that's something relatively new, and even that's cheap.
That's cheap too.
Like
and I got 2 of them.
You got 2 of them.
I have 2 of them. We're using 1 of them right now. Like there's so many things because the budget. Okay, here we go. Here we go, Zach. We got another hour. All right, we got another hour. Let's fucking go, bro. We got all day. I got all day, Zach. I got all day, Zach. I don't actually have all day. Listen, budget things are fine. If you're just starting out, there's a reason why they're budget. There's a reason why budget things exist. Is because you're just starting out. You don't have a lot of income. You're not making money. If you're making money doing this to justify it, then go buy it because you earned it. You deserved it. You worked hard for it. You got it. We've made fun of like the Mac Pro, right? Back then.
Right.
For being like 50 grand and up.
Yeah.
That's not for normal people, Zach. That's for people who are going to buy that Mac Pro, make money with that Mac Pro, and make that Mac Pro money back. Right. Buy that $900 stand and make that money back. Buy that XDR display for however fucking much it was and make that money back. That's the market it's for.
Right.
The Shure SM7B, Zach, are for radio host shows.
And fucking Joe Rogan.
You're not Joe Rogan.
You're not Joe Rogan. Okay.
I'm not Joe Rogan, Zach.
So, okay.
Why should I buy one?
Okay, another thing too is that when you're talking about budget gear, especially tech in any capacity, whatever it may be, and for me personally, the first camera that I had was like $200 and it was from like 2009. And that was because it is designed, these budget options are designed for you to be able to learn from them, grow with them, and make it so that the things that you are doing or the things that you want to do or need to do are outside of the capabilities of the gear that you have. And that's the reason why I'm looking to upgrade my camera right now, because I've had the same camera for almost 4 years and it's from 2011.
Yes, that's a natural upgrade.
It's a natural upgrade.
You should staircase upgrade. That's the point. You don't, when you get, Zach, you know, you go out, okay, you don't play basketball as much, but this is a prime example, okay? Ready? Watch this shit, right?
I'm ready.
Okay? The guy in the basketball game, you know, the street basketball game, who's wearing a Kobe jersey, a Michael Jordan jersey, shorts pulled up, arm sleeve, headband, J's, socks, and he's shit.
Right.
You know that we've seen that guy
Right.
in real life in videos. Turns up in all these accessories and he's shit. Okay, maybe not shit. No, he's shit. You know?
Right.
There's a reason why, you know, people would buy those things. Or I mean, I own some compression stuff, but I enjoy that. Anyways, that's besides the point. There's a reason why people don't just buy the most expensive camera to get into photography, because they're expensive. There's a reason why there's a reason why you buy the Lumix G7s in the world and the M200s in the world that we're shooting your camera on. How does it look, Zach? I think it looks pretty okay.
It looks pretty fucking fantastic.
You know how much I spent on that? Not a lot.
And do you want to know how much this lens that I'm currently using was?
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
Not a lot of money.
And also, this is basically a fucking $20 Goodwill tripod that we're filming this on. Like, if we're gonna get really meta right now, like, you can get so much with so little, and we are a perfect example of that. Because look at this fucking set that we're on.
Yeah, I think I'd like. I mean, I'm maybe, you know, we're kind of tooting our own horn, but I like to think that we've done a pretty good job for ourselves for what we have, for the budget that we have, which is not a very high,
right?
You know, and I feel like we've got a good show going. We got a good vision. Oh God, excuse me, that was gross. We got a G Field, by the way. Use code North. We got a good show going,
right?
With good visuals going,
right?
I'd like to think, for the most part, for what we're able to do, it's pretty professional for the most part. You know, for what we can do, and we're not Joe Rogan. We are not FM or AM radio talk show people.
Right.
We are not the Good Morning America. Is that what it's called? I don't know. We're not on TV, Zach.
Right.
We're on YouTube. You're on Twitch. Calm down. You know, I bought these headphones for $25, and I was like, you know, I just need some headphones to monitor, because we're gonna start wearing headphones now. You know, for these, just for monitoring the audio. And I was like, well, I could buy like a really expensive headphones, or just buy these.
Yeah.
And they're fine. I actually like these. They're a little bit. I mean, we've been sitting here for a while, so it's getting a little bit warmish. But you know, it's whatever. You know.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the point that I've been trying to get across this entire time, is that it's not necessarily about the getting the latest and greatest, the best. It's about what you're going to use it for, and that can be applicable to literally everything when it comes to when you're dealing with tech. Your use case will have everything to do with the decision that you make. And I mean, you know, we're talking about camera gear and all that kind of stuff, but let's take it back another layer. Let's talk about the PCs. The PCs that we use for a lot of the content that you and I create, the computer that you use to edit these videos, you edit the Call of Duty edits, the PC that you use for everything. It has to be able to do all of those things for you to be able to get through the workflow. You know, you need it for what you're doing.
I need it.
You need it. You don't want it. That's the thing. And like when we were building my PC, that's something that we were talking about. That was one of the main concerns that you and I had when we were parting out my PC, was what are you going to use it for? And I said, I'm probably just going to use it for games and to stream. And we built a system that made it so that I could do that, and my computer would be able to do that comfortably. That doesn't mean that I have the latest and greatest. That doesn't mean that I have a 2080 Ti and a Ryzen 9, because I don't need that.
No.
You know, I'm using something that will do the stuff that I need it to do, and maybe a little bit more. But that's just future-proofing. There's a difference between future-proofing and
getting swept by paper number, being swept by reviews, by numbers. And to be fair, you know, a lot of people who make reviews, they say it too. You know, like, you should buy it if you think you need it. You know, and to be fair, I will say this as well. Sometimes it's okay to buy something you want.
Right.
Sometimes it's okay, but I mean, why? If I bought a piano, right? A YPD 144, right?
Yeah.
Why didn't I buy a clavinova? I don't need a clavinova.
Right.
By the way, if you don't know, it's just different SKUs of pianos. The YPD being kind of in the middle-ish, and then clavinova being top tier. I've felt one of those. Those are fantastic. Oh my god, I nut every time I touch those keys, bro. I don't need it.
You don't need it.
I don't need it.
And also another thing too is that the piano that you used to have, the one that I currently have, you upgraded because you wanted something that was a little bit more permanent.
Yes.
In your office, one that wouldn't really wobble around too much, and I didn't really give a shit. And so I was just like, yo, I'll buy it off you because I want a piano, because I haven't played piano in years and I fucking miss it a lot, you know? And so there's just kind of two different use cases for the same type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I saw one of the piano tweets that you made with the 50 mil at like
yes.
1.4.
Yes. Oh,
nut.
Beautiful.
Anyways, but you know, you use that for content creation. You use it as a cathartic, like therapeutic type thing, and you also use it for a hobby because you love doing it. And you know, that's an example of something that you want. Mm-hmm. And you know, that you can buy yourself nice things. I'm not just going to be like, act like you're broke even if you're not. Like I'm not going to sit here and say stuff like that, but you know, when you're getting into a new hobby, when you're getting into a new ecosystem, there's no point in
shelling out.
Yeah, there's no point in spending
you don't
the
know
big
what
bucks.
you're doing, when you don't know what you're buying, you don't
Right.
know the science behind the technology behind it. I mean, like I said, bro, people be buying Shure SM7B. They don't know what this use. Fuck. They don't know what his use case is for, you know? Hey, why don't you restart my camera?
Yeah.
Go ahead and do that. I'm going to keep talking.
Okay.
So they buy this camera. I know it's going to be very awkward because we're looking at it. Oh, that's what happens. Interesting. Anyways, the audio listeners are so confused. So confused. Okay, so basically what happens is they buy these microphones. They buy the Shure SM7B. They don't realize that it's super fucking quiet. So they buy a cloud lifter, or they buy... Zach, do you know what I'm using? You know, people, they got 1,000 followers or so, not even partnered, and they buy a Stream Deck. You know what I'm using, Zach?
A keyboard.
I'm using a numpad that I bought for $10.
And
you know what this does, Zach?
Pushes buttons.
Pushes buttons. You know what a Stream Deck does, Zach?
Pushes buttons.
It pushes buttons.
Do you want to know what I'm using?
What are you using, Zach?
I'm using a mouse.
He's using
A random mouse.
that has side buttons to change the camera, Zach. Look at that. That's crazy.
That's wild.
That's wild. I could have spent like $100 on a Stream Deck, $500 on a Go XLR. Zach, if you have 1,000 followers, why are you buying a Go XLR?
You shouldn't be.
Zach, who's listening to those bleeps and those sound effects? Nobody. Get fucked. I'm joking, by the way. Shout out, we're small creators. We're all here. We're all equal, you know. But listen, what I'm trying to get at is, I watched this video recently, actually, and it made me think about this, and I'm really glad we started talking about this, even though we're kind of going over time. Kind of, just a little bit. It was by Podcasters. I don't know if you know that channel, but he does a bunch of mic reviews. Very good guy. And I watched this video recently about upgrading your audio gear. When you should, why you should. And the big hammer to the nail, Zach.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
He's done it. He said the thing, Zach. Does anybody have bingo? Anyone have a bingo? He said that they've all said all the bingo words, Zach.
Dude, we should have an Uneducation Station bingo game.
We might as well have it because we say the same exact things, Zach.
All the fucking time.
All the fucking time. Look, he said that if before you upgrade, you should consider if you need to upgrade, if you want to upgrade, but most importantly, if you've understood what equipment you have already, because sometimes you might already have what you need. Sometimes you need to read the manual and see, oh, hey, I could do this and that. I thought I couldn't. Apparently I could. The only reason why you should upgrade, or the big reason why, I mean, sometimes, like I said, you know what, if you want to indulge, go ahead and indulge, but understand the financial, I'm a financial advisor today, Zach.
No, you're the financial.
Now I'm the financial advisor.
Yeah.
If you're not making that money back, at least comfortably, if you have money to spend, if you have money set aside that is for hobby, for hobby stuff, then sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
But if you think that it's going to improve something that may not even improve anything at all, then that's a different thing. If you want to upgrade it just to upgrade it for fun, that's different. Because fun is fun. Fun is objective. Fun
Right.
is you. Fun is me. Fun is you. Fun is you, audience. You know?
Breaking the fourth wall. Audio listeners are very confused.
No, audio listeners are listening. I'm pointing right now, audio listeners. There we go. Now they're not pointing at my camera. You want to buy you.
I am also pointing at his camera.
There it is. All right, cool. Now audio listeners are confused. So, if you want to buy something for fun, you can buy it for fun because I believe as long as you're financially able to, you can spend however fucking much you want. Sorry to say fucking so much. I'm so heated right now.
No, that's totally okay because
If it's for a hobby, if it's for fun,
yeah,
that's you. But if you think that it's going to improve something that may not even need to be improved because it's fine, or even better than you already think you could make it, then that's the issue. Because some people don't know how an audio interface works, and they just think they should just throw money at the problem. Some people think that their mic doesn't sound that good, or their mic. You shouldn't buy You shouldn't buy a microphone that your favorite YouTuber, Twitch streamer has just because he has it, she has it.
right.
You should not do that. You should not buy the same exact guitar or piano that one of your favorite artists or band member has just because they have it.
Right.
You should see if your guitar can play that sound. Oh, it can play that sound? Maybe you don't need a new guitar. But at some point, if you think that it's no longer satisfactory for what you need, and it's not able to, then you get a new guitar. If you think your audio interface can't do something that you really want it to do, maybe, some like this audio interface I have right now, there is no zero latency. You can't monitor. There's no monitoring.
Oh, okay.
That's why I use the voice meter.
Gotcha. Okay.
So there's no monitor, I think, unless I haven't found it. I don't know. What if I never found it? What if it's there already? Then I don't need to upgrade it.
Right. Exactly.
Right? Because I don't know.
Right.
Some people don't know what they have.
Yeah.
Some people don't know what they have because they haven't done the research. Frankly, I've done my research, but not specifically on this guy. So I have much more to learn about my audio interface. I was spinning some dials on the audio interface that we used to record this podcast earlier, Zach, and there are some I don't know. What if that fixes some issues that we have? Who knows? You know, if you have something that, like I said, maybe doesn't have audio monitoring and you need that, then you buy one that has one. Then you upgrade it, you know?
Right.
That's basically what he was, the podcast guy was saying. If you have a mic that, frankly, maybe you just don't have, is not producing the sound, the frequencies that you want, then you buy it. If otherwise, or if you try and EQ it and you're still not getting it, then you get a new mic because you're not able to get what you want.
Example time.
Example time. Yes,
So,
go ahead, Zach.
okay. Thank you. So an example, we are just chock full of examples today, but an example for
We need
me.
examples, Zach. Otherwise, these people don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So when I decided that I wanted to start streaming and I wanted to start recording music and all of that kind of stuff, I bought a microphone. I bought a mic that had a shitty audio interface that you couldn't interfere. Like you,
It was just Phantom Power,
it
right?
was, yeah, it was just
one
Phantom
of the
Power.
Phantom Power buddies.
Yeah, and it had a. What? Wow! I just
Whoa.
lost it.
Whoa.
It had one of these guys,
the stands?
one of the
boom
stands,
arms?
and it also had shock mount. Wow! Did you see my brain just disintegrate?
Yeah,
That
I was
weird.
watching that. That was crazy. I was like,
That was weird.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I just witnessed that in first person.
Yeah,
That was crazy.
caught my ass in 4K. Anyways,
32K.
but I used that mic for a long time, and that was my main mic that I was using for streaming, the main mic that I was using for recording videos, the main mic that I was using for everything, and it was a piece of shit. And you remember this because
Of course, because I had the same mic
yeah,
or a similar mic.
You-
Same from the same factory, different people. Yes.
yeah, it's same shit, different shapes. And then you recommended to me that I get the same microphone that you have now, which is also the same mic that I have now. But
The
that's
Audio
because
Technica AT2020,
yeah,
that is.
exactly.
Love that mic, by the way. I love that mic so much.
It's amazing. I love it so
Great.
much. And if we could just use those, that would be fucking amazing. But
We need dynamic mics. Those are condenser. Keep going, Zach.
anyways,
Keep going, Zach.
so I had the Phantom Power thing, and I was like, wow, this sounds like shit. And then you gave me an audio box, the same audio interface, except for it's a different color. We are using to run the audio on this show.
Yes.
Right? And I was using that audio interface with that microphone for a very, very long time until I realized, wow, it sounds like shit and I can't figure out how to make it not sound like shit. And then you're like, hey, there's this really cool microphone that you can get that will do all the stuff that you want it to do that is in your price range. And then I was like, fuck it, dude, let's do it. And ever since then, I've been really happy with it, and I have no reason to upgrade from that.
Exactly.
Like, there's no point in throwing so much money out there. And like even with the mics, like the mount, the stand, fucking words are hard. You know, the
I forget that mic is active, so you tap that arm and just went boom.
I forgot about it too.
Zach, why don't you take that? Zach, okay, why don't you take that mic right there and talk into it, Zach?
Okay.
So you probably even heard it already if you're this far. We use it in the. Oh, it's gonna sound terrible. I'm sorry. We used this during for the guest show. So when Alec came the other episode,
right?
Why don't you talk into it, Zach?
So, oh my gosh, yeah, it sounds fantastic. It's a little loud, but that's totally
It's
fine.
a little loud. That's fine. Just step back a little bit. That's fine.
This is what, like a $40 microphone?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah, it's not.
You can get an equivalent for like $20 to $50 around that price range. It sounds pretty great. It's a dynamic microphone. They use these for shows and stuff, and it just doesn't look like a Shure SM7B, so they don't want to buy it, Zach.
Right.
That's the problem.
It's not something that they've heard of, and so they think that because it's not a name brand, it's bad. And this is a name brand. It's
Audio-Technica.
It's Audio-Technica. This is like one of the best like mid-range audio equipment that you can buy. Audio-Technica does some amazing things. They make some amazing products.
Yeah.
And if you do enough research to be able to find these hidden gems around there, you know, you will be so happy with the outcome that you end up with, because you're able to find the Audio-Technicas, you're able to find the Amazon Basics tripods, you're able to find like all of these things that you wouldn't really think would be as good quality as they are. And like, you know, the cameras that we're shooting on right now, they're crop sensor mirrorless cameras, and we have speed boosters on them just kind of for the fuck of it, and just because we thought it would look good, and it looks great.
It looks great. So
and
I'm
satisfied with it.
I saved the money in not getting a full frame mirrorless, because those shits are fucking expensive. You know what I mean?
Fucking expensive.
They're fucking expensive. Yeah,
Okay,
you go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm
so,
done.
oh, that sounds great. Yep, that's great.
I'm sorry.
Now audio listeners they wish they were confused, but they're not. They're frustrated. They're triggered. All right, so
You didn't hear me at all.
That's why we don't get an AT2020 for the show, because these are dynamic microphones. We need a dynamic microphone for a show like this, not condenser microphones, you know?
Right.
The people don't know that. If you don't know that, then why are you buying a Shure SM7B?
Why are you buying a microphone that you don't fucking need when you don't fucking need it? Like,
You know-
that's the thing that frustrates me the most, is when people are just shoveling money at things that they don't know what they're doing.
No, the Shure SM7B is a fantastic mic.
Of course.
That's not what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
No, I feel like I've let it off this, like, I'm a Shure SM7B hater. I'm not. It's like literally the creamiest mic I've ever heard in my life.
Exactly.
But it's $400. And the people that are buying it should not buy a $400 microphone.
Okay, do you want to know something kind of crazy?
What is it, Zach?
So,
What is this crazy thing?
for the same amount as one Shure SM7B, you could buy this camera, this lens, and probably the speed booster as well, for that amount of money.
For that amount of money, Zach, you could probably buy that camera, not even the speed booster, just a kit lens, save a couple bucks. There's your webcam, Zach.
Yep.
Better than you've replaced your Logitech webcam, Zach. There you go.
Boom.
M200 with a kit lens, used on eBay. There you go.
And the funny thing is that this is better as a webcam than my DSLR is, because this is clean HDMI. My camera doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, just because my camera is more expensive than that one, that doesn't necessarily mean
I mean, why didn't? Yeah, exactly. Why
it's
didn't
worse quality.
Why didn't I just? Yeah, why are we not running these shows on EOS Rs?
Because there's no fucking point.
There's no fucking point, Zach. Do you think the people here know what the difference of a full frame is?
No.
No. So what? Why would I buy that? If I change these mics to a Shure SM7B, that would be great, sure. But would that be worth it? No, it would not. And that's why I didn't buy it. That's why I stuck with these, because they sound good enough, and I can edit it in post or even live EQ like we're doing right now, and it sounds great.
Right.
You know, there's some shortcomings to it, but that's fine, because that's what comes with the cheaper option. But that's
Right.
fine, because we're not some high production budget motherfuckers, bro.
Yeah.
who can just throw around a
Honestly-
couple $100 for better mics and better equipment. We're not like that,
Yeah. And at that point,
and that's fine.
yeah.
You know, I'm not belittling myself. That's just what we are. That's just our standpoint at the moment.
Yeah, we're not making money off of this as of right now. And you know, I guess a counter argument would be like, oh, why don't you like if you want to turn this into a professional shoot, like why don't you use professional grade like cameras? Like why don't you just get some red cameras? And I'm like,
Yeah,
why the fuck?
Why?
Do you think that I just have like a 50 grand for the base model red camera? No. Do you think anyone who is starting out on anything has that kind of money to shovel at anything at all? No.
No, exactly.
That's not recreation money. That's like down payment on a house money. You know? Like that's just crazy talk.
It's super funny because like I said, they're very great pieces of equipment,
Right.
but that's not your weight class. Not yet. I'm not saying it never will be. I'm just saying it's not yet. So don't just jump right into it. You know?
Right.
These people work towards it, you know? You don't buy the microphone, you don't buy the keyboard, you don't buy the mouse that your favorite streamer has. You see what if it's good for you, and then you do, and then you work off of that, or you buy something else and you build to it, you know? At some point I might buy a G Pro wireless for myself.
Right.
Maybe. But I'd have to determine that that's an upgrade that I want to make.
And another thing too is to be able to, especially for something like this, to be able to look back and see how much you've grown. You know, that is definitely something that will be very gratifying and satisfying, because you're able to see just the sheer amount of growth that you've had, not only just in the show, but also, you know, the quality of all of the things that you did and the things that you were able to make and come up with the budget that you had.
Yes.
Like, you know, you and I were sending messages back and forth, and you sent me a screenshot of my frame for the podcast, and he was like, bro, this is fucking insane. Like, I'm so stoked
and that
about
was
this.
last episode, I think.
Yeah, that was last episode.
I'm realizing, Zach, by the way, we never turned on our floodlights.
That's totally okay.
That's okay. It's fine. But
I mean, at that
I
point,
might change my light to an orange light, by the way, because I love how that looks.
yeah.
But no, I was nutting over Zach's frame from last episode.
Because we were able to just kind of mess with the frame, mess with the camera angles, make it into something that we are really happy with. And you know, this is all just kind of thrown together. All of the props, all of everything has just been kind of thrown together, and it's been refined over the course of the last couple months that we've been working on this. But you know, this is what you can, this is the type of end result that you can have if you just put a little time and effort and care into it.
Yes.
And that's why I was so excited about this project in the beginning. Was like, you know, it wasn't because I thought that we were going to have it completely nailed in the very beginning. I just was excited to see how much it would grow over the course of time. And I know for a fact that I'm going to be looking back at this very episode, you know, years down the line and think, wow.
Wearing your super audiophile headphones, listening back, and your Shure SM7B.
Shooting on red cameras.
Shooting on red cameras, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But using what you have and just kind of making it work is a skill in and of itself, because once you're able to learn how to maneuver around the shortcomings of certain equipment, that information will never go away. And so when you're using your Shure SM7B and your fucking red cameras, there are shortcomings to that high-end equipment as well. And so to be able to have a really good understanding of the stuff that you're working on, the equipment that you're using, and be able to get the best even out of the best equipment, you know, that will be the most satisfying thing in the world. And honestly, I'm just excited to see what other stuff we can pull off with the equipment that we have right now. You know?
I'm excited to see what we do with our equipment. I'm excited to see what equipment we decide to upgrade.
Right.
You know, things that we deem as should be upgrade. I'm excited to see the evolution. I mean, even from episode 1, bro, this set has evolved so much, and it's so crazy. and not a lot of money has been thrown at it to make it like this, you know?
Right.
I mean, there's some money, of course, because, you know, some things we legit don't have, you know, but
Yeah, we didn't just have two cameras lying around.
yeah, you know. Oh, I mean, actually, we did, but
okay, well,
but we didn't have two mics laying around, you know. But
Yeah.
as far as the things that we did have laying around, we used it all. I grabbed some props that I had lying around to use as backdrops. You know, I have the iMac that anybody just has lying around, you know,
right.
things people have lying around.
Yeah.
You know,
And I mean, the same thing goes for my set too, because you know I just have albums just lying around as one would, as one might.
Yeah. All I'm trying to say is, you know, and I think the underlying message for this entire episode really is that tech is cool, but don't be consumed by it because there's still its shortcomings. The tools don't make, you know, the better the tools don't make the painter. What is it? Better tools don't make the painter a better painter, or something
Right.
like that. I don't know. Something
Better
along those
paint
lines.
doesn't make.
Better paint.
I don't know.
I don't know. Better brush doesn't make a better painter. You know.
Yeah.
A better camera doesn't make the photographer a better photographer. You know.
Right.
It's all about all the things, and there's a lot to learn. You know. I
Yeah.
can't just buy a super expensive microphone and be a professional podcaster. I can't just buy a super expensive camera and be a professional photographer. I can't just buy a super expensive guitar and be the greatest rock star of all time. You know.
Yeah. It takes time.
It takes time. It takes learning, and it's learning your equipment. It's learning what you have. It's learning of what you can do with what you have. It's learning the limitations of what your equipment can do, and determining if those limitations is enough for you to get something new from it, or get something new to replace it. But otherwise, I mean, this show is basically just adapters behind the scenes.
There are so many adapters, dude. So many.
I've this audio interface we're using to record this is literally probably dying because I am sucking every single ounce out of it and dumping a bunch of shit into it. It's crazy, but you know, I could have just bought one of those super fancy I forgot what they're called, Pod Procast or something like that, whatever, the big buddy with a bunch of inputs and a bunch of headphone outs and stuff like that. I could have totally bought those, but I didn't because I decided we don't need that yet, you know. And when the time comes, when the time comes, I'll get it. But for now, if I'm just we're starting out, we're a small podcast, Zach, you know, and we understand that. We understand that we have a small audience, we have a small following. We are not a high octane. I mean, unless we just blow up overnight and then this episode airs or something like that. And who knows? Maybe it does. And if it does, we did it with this equipment.
Right. And also something that I'm glad that we've both acknowledged is that we've unanimously decided that, you know, this is we're doing this because we enjoy doing it. And it has all been a labor of love, and the reason why we put so much time and effort into it is because we enjoy doing it, and you know, we're able to take what we have and just kind of have a go. And so yeah,
but do you know what else is a labor of love?
What?
How I feel about the people watching and listening.
A labor of love.
A labor of, I think that's how. Yep, there you go. Segues are weird.
Yeah, segues are weird.
Thank you everybody for listening and watching. If you did, like I said, Spotify is now available. I'm not announcing it now, even though by the time you're listening to this, Spotify would have already been available for many weeks. But I was able to get that down. So if you want, excuse me, when I got it. Sorry. If you want, it's a bit.ly/uned Spotify. If you want to listen to Spotify, we're working on Apple Music right now. By the time you're listening, it might be up there. If I'm not sure, but check the description if it is. Apple Podcast fucking sucks to get your podcast in for some reason, but I'm working on it. I'm trying. But for now, I got Spotify secured. So if you want to audio listen, you can audio listen now, and that's fantastic. Otherwise, subscribe to the channel because it's the only place where the episodes are going to be. If you stuck around for this long, I mean, I don't know. Good shit. But if you didn't, we always will upload clips of the podcast and all that type of stuff. If you want to support us, we have a Patreon now and a coffee, and that's fantastic. And
okay. One more thing before we leave.
God. I'm trying to end the episode.
No. Hang on. Okay, so I think it'd be kind of fun if
yep,
we started a thing where if you watch this video all the way to the end, put teddy bear photographer in the comments.
Teddy bear photographer. All right. If you're this far, then put teddy bear photographer in the comment section, and that would be great.
Yeah. Then we'll know that you watched the video all the way to the end, or listened to it all the way to the end. You can't comment on Spotify.
See, but I know most people are going to be on Spotify. So now they're going to have to go to the YouTube. See, they're not going to do that now.
If you're on Spotify, I love you.
Yes, we love you. I'm a Spotify listener as well, so it's all good.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you for listening and watching. Audio listeners, we love you. All right, sick.
Bye.
Goodbye. Yes.
Goodbye.
Yes. Goodbye. Yes.